Amidst the threat of a possible third wave, the possible risk to children, and many other reasons, a 12-year-old girl has moved the Delhi High Court seeking direction to vaccinate children between the age group of 12 and 17 years in the capital. Tia Gupta, in her plea, has argued that the vaccine policy of India has failed to consider that children and their parents are vulnerable to COVID 19. The plea argued that the government should ensure that children are not left behind when it comes to vaccination. The plea argued that the government should ensure that children are not orphaned as their parents were not given priority vaccination as well. The plea also sought formulating of a national plan with respect to children against COVID 19. This comes at a time, remember, when many countries, including the United States, Canada, Singapore, and UAE, have approved the Pfizer vaccine for those above the ages of 12. The central government in India has said that no vaccine has currently been approved for children, and co-vaccine trials are being held at this point in time between the ages of 2 to 18, which will begin in the month of June. We'll talk about this. Joining me on the show is Tia Gupta, the practitioner herself, along with her mom, Naomi Vasudev Gupta. Also joining us on the show is Bihu Mukherjee, their advocate on record. Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai joins us. He is the chairman and MD of Nephron. And Padma Shri, Professor Dr. Mohsin Wali is also here with us, cardiologist and physician, to talk about this important issue. I'm going to go to Tia first. Yeah.
Someone's television is on, so there is a lot of static.
Yeah, if your television is on, please turn it off. Would request you to please turn your television off. Okay, I think it is better now. Tia, let me come to you first. Simple question to you. What prompted you to put in this petition?
Well, all my sister and I, we go to school online, right? And we were missing school so much because all our lives we've heard about how wonder years are so the best years of our lives, but we're living them online, and we just thought it was so horrible because of this pandemic. And then we realized, and then when we heard about the 18 to 45 vaccinations, we were like, why can't we also get vaccinated? Has anybody thought of us as we're the next generation?
Okay. And what are your expectations from this particular petition? What are you hoping will happen? Because you know the situation, there is no vaccine. It's not about the intent or the will of the government. It's also the paucity of the vaccination, Tia.
I hope they start like trials for children, for the vaccination of children. I hope they'll send like more stuff about mental health to help us at home, like how for more information for our mental well-being and all, because they need to think of us as we are the next generation, as I said before.
Absolutely. And Naomi Vasudev Gupta, when was the first time this conversation came up with you? That let's go to court, we need to get vaccinated. That's not something that you hear from a child every day.
No, actually my child is very smart, so it's something which was very possible. But honestly, they're getting very frustrated at home, and virtual platforms can do this much and no more. And when they were hearing, the second wave actually was a big jolt to us as parents, because children suddenly started getting affected, which was not the situation in the first wave of the COVID pandemic. It was an eye-opener. The conversations on the dining table were more about what's happening. And that raised a lot of questions with my kids that, okay, if you're saying 18 to 45 are not getting, the comorbidities are getting, when will our turn come? I didn't have an answer to that question. I was not reading about children being protected, and hence we decided to go to court. It was the only logical platform to raise our questions.
But is this a conversation that you as a family have regularly about being vaccinated, about the various updates that come every day in terms of mutations and variants? Is that something which is discussed in the household?
As you know, we've been living in this 24 hours, and even though you try to filter, you can filter just a bit. even if you want to go further into filtering, they get to know from their school groups that one of my friends has it, friend's parent has it, somebody has lost their parent. A lot of school groups have been circulating pictures of parents not being there. So it is affecting children. How much can you stop a tech-savvy child to understand what is going on in a pandemic? She's been home for a year and a half. Her awareness is what? Awareness is news. What is news? News is only about COVID, because do we have enough infrastructure to deal with it? Is there a lot of blame game to the government? There are so many new spectrums which a child is learning. At her age, I had no idea about all this, right?
Right, absolutely. Tia, you're 12 years old. Is this the conversation that you have with your friends as well? Are they equally worried as you are?
Yes, most of my friends are actually suffering from, like, some of them are suffering from mental health, some of them have lost their parents, some of them have been in quarantine for a long time now, and it's affecting all of us. Since the summer vacation has started, before that we were all just so down and about because we didn't know what to do, because online school, as my mother said right now, can only take you so far.
Okay. Bihu, in terms of, legal bearing, there is obviously anticipation that we can do. We cannot conclude, or we cannot even, in fact, argue as to what the court is going to say. But at the same time, there seems to be a compelling reason in this petition to make sure that children are taken as seriously in terms of vaccination as adults are.
So, Vinny, when it comes to what we call the vulnerable section of society, which is recognized under law, children form a part of it. The others who form a part of it are elderly women. Now, when it comes to elderly, it easily came under the first or the second phase of vaccination, above 60 years. Women came under some category or the other, age-wise. Who were left behind? It's the children. And when it comes to the disaster management of a pandemic of this nature, our laws are very clear. These laws are already there. There's a national plan which recognizes what we call social inclusion of children in every disaster management plan, where you need to mitigate the disaster. And one of the main effective ways of mitigating a pandemic worldwide, not just in India, is vaccination. When that mitigation measure can be applied to the rest of the vulnerable section, why are the children, future of the generation of our generation, being left out? I think that's what resonated with the court, and they understood why it's important, in fact, imperative, and especially looking at the second wave, and we have medical opinions circulating.
There's a third wave. There's a third wave which is likely going to affect children the most. Dr. Bagai, there's compelling reason for, to be vaccinating children. Pfizer has already jumped onto the wagon saying that we are ready. We have stage 3 trials saying that we can vaccinate. What is the let-up? Why is the administration dragging its feet?
Is someone's television still on and pretty loud?
I think Tia, your television is on. I can hear myself.
We don't have a television in this room.
But you are watching the show. I can hear myself echoing through your feedback. But nevertheless, we'll have to mute you when we talk. Dr. Bagai, go ahead.
Okay, so let's put things first in the statistical context. So last year's, this is all information, will be music to the ears of Bihu. So last year's global data of the pediatric load of COVID internationally was around 8 to 9%. This year's CDC data of April is 22%. Week on week, which is called as the SAGE study from UK, the increase in the pediatric population of COVID positives is increased from 14 to 19%. So obviously we are seeing a huge load. And as far as prevalence is concerned in the European Union, it's 996 per 1 lakh per week, as the incidence is 3 times the load now, or as compared to adults. So obviously the pediatric population is affected. The sad thing about the pediatric population in terms of seropositivity is that most of them turn out to be RT-PCR negative, but serology positive. That means they have antibodies, and these are the groups which land up with MIS-C, which is multi-organ inflammatory syndrome of children. Now, let's jump straight on to the vaccination. Now, internationally, the vaccinations always, as a larger group, always begin with the adult population as far as the volunteers are concerned. Then we come down age-wise, which is very acceptable. Now, children need vaccination. There is no question about it. They are the most vulnerable group, and the reason why they are vulnerable is they are unvaccinated. And the mutant strains, especially the mutant strains, are playing havoc. B1617 type 2 is 73% prevalence in the European Union. We don't have that kind of micro data from within the Indian diaspora. But having said that, the reason is the immunophenotyping of children is very different as compared to adults. There is something which is medically and genomically called as the B cell cloning. That doesn't kick off in children with the mutant strains because the immunity is, what happens with the immunity, it becomes dysfunctional. So your body is not allowed to respond in a normal manner, and it very often responds in an abnormal manner in which they go into what we call as a hyperinflammatory state. So your innate immunity just bursts like a volcano and they have multi-organ involvement. Now, with regards to vaccination, there are 2 large studies which have been done, which have been published. And the largest study is about 6,750 children, which is already in public domain. And the one which they have analyzed is of 2,700 children. This study is published just this morning in Lancet, the pediatric Lancet. And they have found 100% efficacy, 100% efficacy in the age group of 12 to 18. And immune response as compared to 18 to 25, that means young adults, is 1.9 times more. So the children are responding very well to the vaccine. It's an mRNA vaccine, which is of Pfizer, BNT. And the immune response is not only better, but 100% efficacious and no side effects. Now, with regards to the Indian scenario, the vaccine, which is of Bharat Biotech, is already undergoing phase 1, 2, and 3 trials. But these trials can't be hastened to put children's safety at compromise. Please understand the platform of Bharat Biotech and the mRNA platform scientifically are 2 different. They both work very well, but the fundamental basis of the molecular biology is different. So we must allow the phases to go through. Now, in hindsight, could this have been done earlier? Well, if you look in hindsight, every person in this world would be an Einstein. That's not possible. We know that there is a global vaccine shortage. We know that India's population is so huge and immense that it's impossible to cater to all the needs at one go. We have to be patient. I am anticipating sometimes around August to have the results. It will take at least 2 months of these phase 2, 3 trials of Bharat Biotech. I'm reasonably sure that the results will be very encouraging. And maybe by August, September, we would have the first phases of the pediatric population being vaccinated from the age group of 12 to 18. But we just have to be patient. The first data is just published late last night, this morning. So we are not too far behind the international community as far as this is concerned. So we just have to be a little bit patient. But we need just last 10 seconds, pediatric population being vaccinated, big yes. How soon? Immediately, but little bit of patience.
Okay, absolutely. Before I go to Dr. Vali, let me take a quick response from Tia once again. Tia, I'm sure you understood what Dr. Bagai said, that children are different, their pathology is different, their biology is different, their physiology is different. So obviously, there is also this angle of making very sure, being extremely sure before vaccinating children. Do you understand that concept? Because it is important for children to be 100% safe in case there is any side effect when the vaccine is administered.
I completely understand that, and that's why when we did file this petition, I didn't want immediate results. I was willing to wait for a long time.
Okay, but are you unhappy with the pace with which the government has been moving?
Yes.
Is that the reason? Is that the primary reason for your petition, for your concern?
Well, yes, I would.
And are your parents vaccinated?
My parents are vaccinated.
Okay, all right. Dr. Vali, your thoughts on Tia's plea in the High Court? It obviously brings to light a concern that we have spoken about a multitude of times on this very platform that children need to be inoculated. It's not something which you can just slip under the carpet, and get busy inoculating the working population, because the future generation needs it a lot more.
Yes, we need fully agree. We discussed this many times with Dr. Bagai also. I must compliment you and your channel to get the hero out. I must wish Tia good luck, and she has become a hero. And I can understand the pain with which she said, yes, she's unhappy with this scenario. This is very right, and it will remind me, Bache Man Ke Sache, we lagged behind in vaccinating the various age groups, and we drew lines. And these lines were drawn based on international information, the knowledge and the studies. Now, when the children's turn will come, we have been discussing, as you rightly said, and the children's turn should come very soon, provided we have vaccine. This is a big underlined caption. And one thing more I will tell you, that the scenarios which we were discussing, it just came to my mind after I read Tia's petition's details, that the surveys done abroad are in the countries where the children population is not that much. In India, we have many more children in each household. This is one difference from the international data which we are getting so far. You understand what I mean? The average family, if we take an average, more than 3 is the average of each family children. While abroad it is not there. Many are the single parents, or they don't marry, or they don't have children. So our problem is much strong, much valuable, and much important while we are talking about pediatric vaccination for COVID. This is a difference as compared to the international studies, and different results are coming. Our children are more vulnerable, therefore. And I can read from the Indian Academy of Pediatrics. I got 2 lines to read. Children are as susceptible as adults and older individuals to develop infection, but not severe disease. This is very important for the children. It is highly unlikely that the third wave will predominantly or exclusively affect children. So the whole society is exposed to the danger of third wave, which we have been talking. So we have to cater for these children to understand their point. They have to go out to the schools. Some children have completed full year without going to schools, some more than that. So if we talk holistically about the vaccination should be open to all. This is very important, and pediatric vaccination will not be different from adult vaccination in this COVID case. We have to do studies faster. We have to get the enough number of vaccines, and the shortage of the vaccine has to be met with, because these days the officials are trying to bridge this gap. They are involving other companies, they are involving other brands, as you have been saying. So this is the need of the hour.
Absolutely. And Neoma, apart from the health of the children, we must also not forget that they have been sitting at home for the past year and a half.
Exactly.
That in itself is a travesty of huge proportions, and only the vaccine can allow them to venture outside.
Absolutely. And there's how much can you give hope when a child asks you at night, Mom, when will I go to school? And you don't have an answer. It's a very weird feeling. It's you're walking on a road, but where is that road heading? I want clarity. I want information. I want my children to be aware with the correct amount of information, with the right amount of data. I don't want to give them constant wrong hope. I can't play with their mental peace. As Tia very rightly said, what about mental peace? It's all integrated, right? Physical and mental. So I'm glad to see that everybody is recognizing this fact. And there seems to be a lot of hope post this discussion that we are on the right track.
And Neoma, also as a parent, how concerned are you about the effectiveness, the efficacy, the safety of the vaccine which is going to be ready for children? Obviously, you will not have access to any of that data. You will obviously believe the government. You will obviously believe the medical experts who will have access to it. As a parent, how concerned are you about that?
I'm not much concerned about that, because I'm sure whichever vaccination will be given and advice for these children will be given with a lot of sense of responsibility. because nobody will really, I don't think any pharmaceutical company or government will try to mess with this factor, because otherwise they'll have to pay a lot of damages for the same. So I have enough faith over there.
Okay, Tia, a simple question for you. Every government has a policy. The Americans have started to inoculate their children with the Pfizer vaccine. India has a vaccine policy, and it's a little slow, but we have a very large population to cover. And while we were in fact trying to cover this large population, Tia, the second wave happened, which more or less stalled that pathway to success, or that pathway to a crore doses every day. Do you understand that concept, or do you think that the government can still do better?
I do understand that concept, because it is demand and supply, right?
Right. Okay, so it's as easy as that. It's as simple as that. In fact, you summed it up. The basic nature of every transaction. It's a demand-based and a supply-based system that we lived in. Bihu, in your opinion, the courts definitely will be moved by this petition. They will try and understand as to why this delay has happened, and perhaps it will also promulgate and galvanize the government into doing something quick, because time is of the essence. You don't want to lose many lives. You're still losing 4,000 people a day, even after the second wave in some way has subsided.
Absolutely. And they need to see, now, as I said, these plans are already there. They've been there for many, many years since the acts were done. All they need to do is put a flesh in their act. The skeleton is already there with you. So you amend them, you modify them, you bring every section of the society which requires, looking into. Now look at parents. How many children have been orphaned? Why not include parents of young children as well? It has also been petitioned in this, in this particular petition. Why not prioritize them to ensure that the third wave doesn't bring the same kind of bad news which it did, in the second wave? So definitely, I'm very positive that the courts will definitely ensure that a plan is in place, children are vaccinated with the correct vaccine, safe and effective vaccine, and all the other mitigation measures, not just, shutting schools and telling them stay at home, that's safe. That's not a mitigation measure. So I am very hopeful with this order which has come in today, that it's just this first step towards what we really want to achieve.
Right, Dr. Bagai, this once again points us towards the liberalization of the vaccine, another topic which we have discussed in the past, and you yourself, sir, have recommended a number of novel and great ideas whereby which the entire country can be inoculated at the quickest.
Okay, so of course the vaccine cannot be suffocated, the program cannot be suffocated. The vaccine should come as close to the community and the people as possible. This is the pandemic. It should be central and state, government and private. It should be uniform policy in pricing. It should be equitable distribution without any bias of caste, color, religion, or geographic bias. It has to be affordable or indeed free to everyone, because this is not to protect one's own self, it is to protect the communities. But having said that, the vaccines in pediatrics is extremely important. But the word of caution is that since the largest program of vaccinations occurs in pediatrics, there are three important issues in pediatrics and vaccination. And having been in this vaccinology part of medicine, better part of almost 38 years, one is it has to be beautifully integrated with the ongoing pediatric vaccination programs. So we have to see that there is no interaction, no adverse effects, no short-term reaction, no long-term reactions. Having said that, there are a lot of combination trials which are happening overseas as pan-COVID vaccine trials. There is a trial which is also combining influenza vaccine with the COVID vaccine. And there are now, since last week, trials of the pneumonia shot, what we call as the pneumococcal, plus the COVID shot. So there are a lot of things which are brewing right now in research. But focusing down on this, there is also a huge demarcation of the doses which is given. Above the age of 18, everyone gets a flat same dose. Now, there are some doses which change at 2 years of age and some change between 5 and 8 years of age and so on. So I think the dose needs to be titrated. The bottom line in pediatrics is safety first, because children's organs behave very, very differently. Children are not miniature adults. They are a completely different set of cells, different set of human beings. And being in pediatrics for so many decades, I can tell you, pediatrics is passion, it's empathy. If you have to treat a child, you have to see love in your own eyes to treat a child with love. And then the child gives themselves to you.
Absolutely.
So we have to be very, very careful in pediatric management. We have to be patient. We're not very far behind. Let me forewarn, we're not very far behind US and Europe as far as pediatric population is concerned in vaccination. The trials are on in 3 different centers. They are doing it across about 1,000 odd children. They should have results in another, say, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, all right. We've run out of time, but I'd like to take this opportunity in congratulating Tia and wishing her good luck in this petition. It is a brave move and hopefully a one that will change the landscape, the policy of vaccination in our country for good. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this wonderful.